Austin about her. She said she is a speed demon. We're so lucky to have her on our team this year because last year she was our main focus and we had to stop her.
Thanks to Mara Freelon, a part of that Texas Tech team that took down Virginia Tech in the second round of the WBIT. But now the Hokies have her on their side, and she's in the starting lineup here. As the Hokies wear the white, Chanticleer's in the teal, and Virginia Tech starts it off well from Mel Daly.
Mel Daly, a really good mid-range shooter. She can make a three, but she loves that 15 to 18-footer.
Chanticleer's coming into this one 2-2. Started off the year with a couple of losses to Miami of Ohio as well as BYU, but then bounced back against Division II Lee's McRae and then UNC Wilmington. Under the hoop, that's Harris swinging out into the corner. Grady coming off of a great game for the Chanticleers. Driving inside, great defense from Freelon as the shot clock was falling down. Mackie Nelson from the wing. She's got it.
Off to a great start this year in the assist category. She has shown she can improve from the three-point lane, too. The Hokies, that first possession, Bailey played incredible defense. This team wants to shoot the ball as quickly as possible, and they went the entire clock, the shot clock, without getting the shot up.
Meanwhile, the Hokies scoring very quickly, something that Coastal Carolina is going to try to do to stay competitive in this matchup. As Daly, the Northwestern transfer, picks up that ball. Carleigh Wenzel steps back for the tray. Off the backboard, and here comes Kristen Williams, but a whistle in the backcourt and a foul called on Freelon of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Freelon's 18 rebounds in the last game. It was even more amazing because she did get a little bit of foul trouble in that game and, of course, sat out toward the end of the game when the game was out of control.
Kevin Patterson looking on in his fourth season as the head coach of Coastal Carolina. Went to the WNIT last year. Made it to the semifinals of the Sun Belt Tournament with a 23-9 record. Now, production has been something that did not return for Coastal as they try to amp up the chaos here, forcing a turnover at midcourt for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, randomly trap you. Sometimes they'll trap immediately, sometimes they'll wait, sometimes they won't trap, but that's exactly what they do. And you saw the offensive possession. They like to have 5 people on the perimeter and set up those drives and back cuts they got to lay up.
Offensive foul called on Coastal. As Jimenez a bit frustrated with that. Transfer from Wisconsin. Another look at this.
Got an illegal screen right there. Tough on the dribble handoff. You've got to come to a jump stop and be still. That's a point of emphasis for the officials this season.
It's already a couple of turnovers for the Chanticleers.
Jimenez banged up a little bit right there, getting replaced by Kinsey Grimes, it looks like.
And unfortunately for Jimenez, injury is something that has been a part of the story for Coastal this year, particularly her story. Transferred from Wisconsin and then missed 10 weeks of practice. So she's still trying to get into the flow of things for the Chanticleers team.
Yeah, really talented point guard, recruited by Coach Pedersen out of high school. Then she went to Wisconsin, but they stayed in touch, and here she is at Coastal.
Here comes Wenzel right to the square and gets the layup to fall.
3-level score. Perfect example of that is Carleigh Wenzel for Coach Duffy.
Drive inside, that's Grimes, can't get it to fall. Gets it back to her, down the baseline. Late whistle, and it goes back to Virginia Tech. There's Grimes, a true freshman from Texas, and Megan Duffy looking on from the Hokie sideline in her second year at the helm of this program. Had a great year with Virginia Tech last year. We're really just a few baskets away from making the NCAA tournament. Had a couple of tough losses at the end of the year. As Nelson misses, Grimes pulls down the rebound. Kristen Williams, a feed inside. Harris with the bounce pass, and now a wrestling match on the floor with Bradley. Ball rolls out. Another turnover for Coastal.
So they do, throw ahead, push it as fast as they can. They want to shoot the ball as quickly as possible, get as many possessions as possible.
It's been a little sloppy here early on as Tracy Houston comes in, the Roanoke, Virginia native and a transfer from Charlotte. Also started out her college career at Pitt, but a graduate of Northside High School in Roanoke, Virginia, so not too far away from where she grew up. Here's Daly. No good. Pulled down by the veteran guard and Williams.
Williams, really good player, kind of a combo guard, maybe their best player.
This is from 17 feet. Here comes Wenzel commanding the offense for the Hokies. Daly drives, shoots, gets the roll.
Mid-range, Bailey. Her specialty.
And gets the steal. Caught Coastal sleeping and gets fouled as she goes to the hoop.
Again, you mentioned a little bit sloppy on Coastal's part right there.
On number 7, Kinsey Grimes, her first
driving it, and the drive to the lane, that's exactly where Mel Daly wants to get to. And then Daly alertly sees the sloppy inbounds pass and gets to go to the free throw line.
Now will be shooting 2.
Daly off to a quick start here. A couple baskets already. Now going to the free throw line. The transfer from Northwestern.
And she's coming off of her best game as well. Scored 14 points against the running Bulldogs just 2 nights ago. And averaged in double figures for Northwestern last year.
Yeah, one of 6 Hokies averaging double figures so far this season.
And Virginia Tech looking good to start here. 11-2 now the score. As Coastal tries to find an answer through this Virginia Tech defense. Paige Bradley, a former TCU guard, swings it down low to Houston, and a good feed, makes it 11-4.
A perfect execution of ball screen and roll. Hokies didn't communicate on that ball screen.
Here comes Wenzel off of the pressure from Bradley, and she picks it up on Daly. And off back to Nelson, cuts. Wenzel for 3, yes.
Yeah, Wenzel gets the credit, but Nelson set it up.
Yeah, Mackie Nelson has been able to dish out the dime so far this year for the Hokies, and she falls to the floor to pick up the turnover. Bounce out to Daly. Daly able to pick up the foul on Houston.
Yeah, you mentioned Nelson, 4th in the nation in assists. Here's the penetration again. When it gets into paint, defense has to collapse, leave it open. This time, Carleigh Wenzel.
Great job by Mackie Nelson, able to pick up some more playing time this year. Came off of the bench a lot last season. Just her redshirt freshman year, you're seeing those skills start to accumulate here in her 2nd year of Division I college basketball.
Yeah, last year she was a great spark off the bench. A really good defender, gets her hands on a lot of balls, and on offense, she plays downhill all the time attacking.
Daly misses the 2nd. Here comes Karis Baker, who we haven't touched on yet. Wenzel almost lost the dribble. Finding Karis Baker. She's just trying to heat back up from 3. It started out the year 1 of 12 from beyond the arc for a former 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah, and playing really well, averaging 12 points, 6 rebounds, perfect from the free throw line, 9 offensive rebounds. But she has yet to find the range from outside, and she, like you said, she was probably, along with Matilda Eck, the 2 best three-point shooters on Virginia Tech's team a year ago.
Well, either way, the Hokies enjoying an 11-point early lead here in the first quarter. That'll stay with Coastal. Well, Virginia Tech's defense has been swarming. I mean, we saw a pretty intense shoot-around here today, and this was a team that basically practiced before this game and only played 2 nights ago.
Yeah, a quick turnaround.
Kristen Williams trying to heat up for Coastal.
Really good, all Sun Belt combo guard. They got that 3. They got 2 layups, but other than those possessions, Virginia Tech's done a really good job defensively.
Inside, lob to Freelon under the hoop, and an and 1. Virginia Tech jumping up once again to a double-digit lead, and Freelon checking into the scoring effort.
Found Freelon on the block. Nice lob over top. Play through the contact. Keep your eye on the rim. Kyla Freelon stays hot for the Hokies.
Margin and getting dominated in the paint, guys.
And when we talk with Coach Pedersen, he likes to give his team, at least a few of the players on the roster, particularly Kristen Williams, just kind of a carte blanche to shoot as many times. If we're going to try, he said to us yesterday, I'm going to take you out of the game if you stop shooting, not if you're missing.
You know how much recruits like to hear that? A lot.
Speaking of, here is Kristen Williams, a grad student from San Diego, California. Freelon committed the old-fashioned three-point play as the Hokies jump up to an 11-point lead. Here comes Williams. Carleigh Peterson into the game for the first time for Virginia Tech.
Williams got to the rim, got the offensive rebound.
Louder bounces inside. Paige Bradley can't get the layup to fall. Samaya Suffren got the rebound and lost it. And a tie-up gives the ball back to Coastal Carolina.
Yeah. Scoring hasn't been frenetic for the shots, but the pace has anyway. The turnovers have just killed them so far.
Yeah, and if you're still trying to go with that chaos here, do you slow it down a little bit to try to figure out how to score here?
No. This is who you are. This is how you're going to play. You live and die with it.
Really Louder. Williams, pump fake. Here comes Louder on the left side, under the hoop. That goes off of Karis Baker, so 11 on the shot clock. And Coastal maintains possession here.
Coach Pedersen really likes his freshmen. You got Louder, Grimes we've seen, and Klanick, Olivia Klanick, who was in the starting lineup but out for today's game.
Yeah, Jimenez got a couple of fouls early and taken out, as now the Hokies force another turnover. Excuse me, Jimenez does not have a foul, but taken out of the game. It's now Kristen Williams running the point primarily for Coastal. Here comes Carleigh Wenzel running the point for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Jimenez got banged up on that offensive foul that actually wasn't on her, but it was on the screener.
Hokies love to have Samaya Suffren back into the lineup, and here she comes into the backcourt with a steal right off of the made three. Finds Wenzel. Here comes Carleigh Peterson. Ball is loose, picked up by Louder. Bradley now for Coastal. Trying to keep that chaotic flow going with Grady. Grady pulls up and draws a foul.
Yeah, but one thing that's really tough for Coastal in this situation is they want to play fast. Virginia Tech doesn't mind that at all. You think of the speed out there with Suffren, with Wells, with Freelon. There's the kick, quick reversal. Samaya Suffren shooting the three with a lot of confidence after missing most of last season with a shoulder injury.
Miss there for Grady, junior from Dublin, Ohio, coming off of a 23-point performance against UNC Wilmington, hit 5 threes in that game, and able to score the back end of those 2 shots to now join the score sheet for Coastal. Nelson, outside feed to Wenzel. As Virginia Tech backs it up. Nelson. Whistle blows, stepped out of bounds. It looked like Mackie Nelson had the right idea there to try to find Suffren. And here comes Suffren.
A one-man press. Stepped on the sideline. Okay, you know, sometimes a pressing team doesn't like to be pressed. And, you know, Coach Tuffy right there dialed up a little pressure, full court. Samaya Suffren is so fast, she could trap somebody by herself, I think.
Yeah, Virginia Tech still trying to force those turnovers. 7 total so far in the first quarter for Coastal at this point. We're not even through the entire first quarter. In fact, there's over 3 minutes left here before the first break. Williams, the 2 veteran guards working on each other with Daly on the defense for Virginia Tech.
Jimenez back in the game after getting looked like her fingers taped up.
Good bounce inside, loose ball. Peterson finds it.
Yet another turnover.
See if Virginia Tech can capitalize here as Wenzel goes with an entry lob. Karis Baker finishes with the left hand.
Yeah, and that's why Carleigh Wenzel led this team in assists a year ago.
So Virginia Tech enjoying a confident lead now, 23-8. So we'll take a break. Hokies enjoying this one. What a feed, Mac.
Yeah, high post, low post, Baker with the seal and the finish.
Virginia Tech up 23-8, off to a hot start. And Mac, in the previous 3 games we've seen the Hokies play, they've been more of a second half team, but Virginia Tech is starting out on fire defensively, especially tonight.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things Coach Duffy and her staff wanted to address, getting off to a little better start. And, you know, we compared it to a boxer, kind of feeling each other out early on, but the Hokies came out swinging in this one.
Another turnover forced. As Coastal continues to struggle here, no field goals in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that one was unforced pretty much.
Baker at the top of the key. Here comes Wenzel, another 3. Carleigh Wenzel, as well as the rest of this Virginia Tech team, staying red hot, up 18. But meanwhile, the Coastal Chaos starting to work a little bit more, quickly scoring off of Tatiana Harris's layup.
Yeah, really nice pass ahead and a good finish by Harris.
Now Wenzel calls out a new offense. Baker turns around. Can't sink the mid-range, but it'll stay on this side with a foul on Coastal.
Yeah, Jimenez with a little too aggressive on the box out right there. And the Hokies will be in the bonus.
So here comes Peterson coming off of the bench and producing for Virginia Tech in that first game against Towson. Cale Peterson, the sophomore from Wisconsin, dropped 17 points off of the bench.
And his perfect 12 for 12 this year from the free throw line.
Make it 13 for 13.
Shot over 80% as a freshman a year ago. Coach Duffy has talked a lot about how much she has improved, and she was pretty darn good as a freshman a year ago.
Peterson followed Coach Duffy after she had originally committed to play at Marquette, and then Coach Duffy takes the job here in Blacksburg. Peterson came to Southwest Virginia. Meanwhile, another turnover. Carleigh Wenzel running the track meet, has free lawn, but gets booked with the travel.
And Williams with another turnover right there. She's going to go out of the game. Jimenez will go back to the point position. Jimenez was playing off the ball, and I think part of that reason may be the fact that she's got those fingers taped up, but a really good, talented point guard.
And Coach Patterson talked about how she is really one of the few true point guards on this team. Saw that Kristen Williams plays a lot of the 1 for Coastal, but in reality, she's really a 2.
Exactly. And Jimenez was good enough at Wisconsin. She was on the all Big Ten freshman team 2 years ago.
Yeah, struggled last year up in Madison. Made the decision to transfer after a coaching change for Wisconsin. Going to the line here for 2. She's an 82% free throw shooter this season.
That worked out well for Coach Patterson with Grady and Jimenez coming south.
Taking her time with his free throw and misses. Yeah, a bit rare that you see transfers from the same school then transfer to the same school, Mac, but that happened with Jimenez and Grady.
Yeah, and Coach Patterson is very grateful. They're looking forward to a good Sun Belt season.
Sinks the second one. As Coastal tries to put a supercharge into its offensive output here. Virginia Tech going coast to coast. Mackie Nelson.
downhill all the time when she's got that ball in her hands.
A lot of speedy players on this Virginia Tech team, and this is a pretty speedy lineup right now for Virginia Tech with Freelon, Samaya Suffren, and Mackie Nelson all out on the floor at the same time. There's an air ball that gives the ball back to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Virginia Tech does not mind being sped up and playing at a faster pace. Athletic, and they have a lot of depth too. Coach Duffy does with this year's squad, as opposed to last year when sometimes they played 5, 6, maybe 7 in a game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Virginia Tech has. A lot of guards on this roster. And, you know, last year with Rose Mishaw played a lot as the 5, as the center for Virginia Tech, but you know, even she was really, truly a forward.
Yeah, exactly. Coastal this time goes to the 2-3 zone. Cale Peterson comes up limping after missing that shot.
A bit of a tough sight for Virginia Tech as she gets back on defense up against Harris. Here comes Grimes, gets it to go off of the glass.
Another of those freshmen that Coach Pedersen was talking glowingly about.
Locked down to 7, into the corner with Daly. Peterson can't get the shot off. Grimes will not shoot it, and that is it for the first quarter. But Virginia Tech putting on an offensive show as well as forcing the defense.
Saying, how easy is it for me to take a few dribbles, pass them the ball, and they make the shot? She told me they put it in major work over the offseason, and they're primed for big years.
Yeah, we already saw Mackie Nelson feed it out to Carleigh Wenzel to knock down a 3 there in the first quarter as the Hokies put up 30 in the first. Carleigh Wenzel will get her 5th assist, and Karis Baker knocks down the mid-range. Meanwhile, for Coastal, trying to find some offense here with that chaos brand, Virginia Tech's defense has really had an answer for them so far in this game. As the freshman Grimes drives in, needs some help. Goes into the backcourt, yet another turnover forced by this Hokies team.
Yeah, as Coach Duffy likes to say in practice, they are locked in on the defensive end.
Meanwhile, Coach Pedersen, we'll see a little bit of a frustration there with 11 turnovers for this Coastal team. Baker. Nelson once again splits through defenders. Daly wide open for another mid-range. Misses. Freelon trying to get the rebound, but instead Harris wins it.
Harris undersized, but really plays well down low. Long and athletic.
Averaging almost 9 rebounds a game for the shots. As that goes off of the glass for Grady.
Yeah, now we talked about the fact that she was 5 of 13, 5 of 12 from 3, but she can play off the dribble too.
Meanwhile, Mackie Nelson collides with Paige Bradley. It's a turnover for Virginia Tech, and Bradley gets up gingerly.
Yeah, she's had a couple collisions here this afternoon.
At times, it hasn't really been a pretty basketball game, Mac. We've seen a few of those collisions. The turnovers have added up.
Yeah, and just very few good offensive looks for Coastal Carolina.
As Grady turns around, it's pulled down by Daly. You know, even though it's maybe not as aesthetically pleasing a game and it's not working out for Coastal here, Wenzel misses. Does Coastal want to have a game that's not pretty?
So I think they want all their games to be not pretty, if you will.
Here comes Jimenez. That's pretty as she goes right to the glass. Coastal with back-to-back buckets here. Virginia Tech not wasting any time with an outlet to Baker.
The Hokies don't mind playing fast.
Karis Baker, returner for Virginia Tech. Trying to get something done from beyond the arc, but has really added a lot to her game since she first got to Blacksburg. Here comes Daly. Steals away the ball and goes across the timeline. Bounce out to Wenzel, corner 3. Too hard.
Yeah, you mentioned Karis Baker. She really has. She was a catch and shoot shooter. That was it. Now she can post, rebound, really a good defender. Had to do a lot more last year, even playing in the post at center sometimes. But yeah, she has really improved, can play off the dribble.
Virginia Tech foul number 10, Carleigh.
Baker reached in on that, gets called with a foul.
You see Jimenez get the ball in the basket, but you got to get back because Carleigh Baker is running the floor. And another assist.
Yeah, gotta give props to Mackie Nelson there. That's her 3rd assist of the ball game. Great court vision and a beautiful pass down to Baker.
25 assists coming into the game.
Williams hands it off back for Grady. Tries her luck at a 3. Virginia Tech ball. We haven't seen Coastal shoot very many 3s so far in this game, and Coach Pedersen talked about the fact that when he signed a few of these transfers, they can shoot the 3, and that's why we want them, because we love to shoot a lot of 3s. We've only seen 3 3s attempted for the Chanticleers so far.
Yeah, and I think that's due to Virginia Tech's defense.
Meanwhile, the 3's falling from Mackie Nelson. That's her 2nd of the game.
That was one of the questions coming into the year. Would she be a consistent 3-point threat?
Comes another 3. Kristen Williams trying to heat it up for Coastal.
Coach Pedersen couldn't say enough nice things about Kristen Williams.
Mackie Nelson trying to stay hot.
Little heat check there.
Peterson able to volleyball it over to Layla Wells, the sophomore who comes into the game for the first time. Baker, quick shot. Peterson crashing down and gets called for the foul.
In transition's a good place to shoot it. They didn't find the point guard on the opposite side of the floor.
Here comes Kristen Williams. Trying to spark some offense here for Coastal. We're starting to see them get a little bit more confident against this Virginia Tech defense. And as I say that, another turnover forced by Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Coach Pedersen's got to really just be totally frustrated. And Virginia Tech has been very good defensively. They've had a large part in the reason they've got 12 turnovers here in the first half.
Carleigh Wenzel slows it down for just a moment. Wells now. Dribbles off a screen. Carleigh Baker able to knock down the 3.
There you go. You were talking about her trying to find that touch.
It'll be big for Virginia Tech the rest of the season, especially as league play starts to heat up, Mac. If Carleigh Baker is able to get back on track with a 3-pointer.
Yeah, if you've got 4 players and sometimes even 5 that can shoot from the perimeter, it really puts a lot of pressure on the opponent's defense.
Defense has been so solid for Virginia Tech as Carleigh Wenzel fearlessly goes into the paint, draws a foul, and now we'll go to the line.
Yeah, set Tech records for free throws made, free throws attempted by being aggressive, just like she was on that penetration. Slicing in there, realizes the defense is at a deficit and gets to go to the free throw line, which she is very good.
So far this year, Carleigh Wenzel, he shoots a lot of free throws. Right now it's 71% coming into this game.
Yeah, and that's quite a bit lower than she shot a year ago. Outstanding, the San Antonio native.
He's really stepped it up as a leader for this Virginia Tech team. I got thrown into that point guard position last year.
She's been here a while, redshirted as a freshman. Has been a regular in the lineup since then.
Hokies back up 42-20. Jimenez matched up with Wells for Virginia Tech. Grady, inside lob. Peterson got a hand on it, still fighting for the ball. Kicked into the backcourt. Here is Suffren, now loose, and a whistle blows to give Virginia Tech the ball. Timeout, and no, that's going to be a technical foul called on Coastal. That's going to go on Pedersen.
Coastal foul. number 17.
And a frustrating day continues to mount for this Coastal team.
Second team foul.
Let's get a look at this foul first, Mac.
Yeah, don't see much there. Here we go in transition. Yeah, it looks like Grimes dove in and created the contact. He's not really, he's way out of the box.
Now, what do you think, Mac?
No, unless it was out of the box, he didn't seem to be protesting all that, vehemently. But being out of the box that far, that'll get you.
No hesitation on the technical foul. Called there by referee Adrian Gilmore-Nichols. So Carleigh Wenzel is going to shoot a couple for Virginia Tech. And stays perfect at the line today.
And the other thing we don't know was that exactly what was said over there either.
You get a look at that. Count toward team fouls. Must be worn for a specific infraction.
Apparently, Coach Pedersen crossed the line there somewhere, besides the midcourt line.
Right. And a foul called on Grimes.
Grimes with back-to-back fouls.
And that brings us to another break here in the second quarter. Karis Baker leading the way for the Hokies with Carleigh Wenzel. She's got 9 so far, Mac, and she's looked good.
Yeah, and she's done a little bit of every mid-range, but the one thing she wanted to get going coming in,
Welcome back to Blacksburg, everyone. Hokies enjoying a 44-20 lead. Carleigh Wenzel has 12 points and 6 assists, but get this, Mac, for Karis Baker, in 3 games in those first halves, Karis Baker had scored a total of 9 points in those 3 games and in the first halves. She's got 9 so far already today.
Yeah, we talked about the Hokies' first half struggles. Part of that was Karis Baker, and she has corrected that here this afternoon.
Layla Wells thought about the 3 to try to add on to this Hokie lead, but an offensive foul called down low. That goes on Cale Peterson. Virginia Tech still enjoying a 7-0 run. And the story of the day, unfortunately for Coastal, has been the turnover. Virginia Tech has scored 18 points from Chanticleer turnovers here today.
That is the story of the game.
Bradley for 3. Too hard. Sufferin's there to collect the rebound. Quickly moving. Layla Wells gets booked with a charge.
Nice job by Kristen Williams getting back.
15 foul. Ticket at number 3.
Hokies picking up full court right here.
Well, 44-20. We have seen a bit more offense from the Chanticleers. A few better moments here in the second quarter. And Tamara, it looked like Coastal had tried to make some adjustments so far here in the second quarter.
Absolutely, Bailey. I listened in on the Coastal Carolina huddle, and Coach Pedersen was emphasizing being passionate and aggressive, but not playing hero ball. Obviously, the obvious is taking care of the basketball. If they do that, they can make more shots.
Fortunately for the Chanticleers, 13 turnovers and a foul call down low after the offensive rebound from Kyla Freelon.
15 foul. To the line number 0.
Anderson just booked with a technical foul.
A lot of frustration from Coastal Carolina. Of course, they're down a starter. They had an injury early to Jimenez, and it hasn't gone well.
Freelon, that was perfect from the line. With 5 points for the Hokies. Maya Suffren staying on the floor for Virginia Tech, adding some speed into the backcourt for the Hokies. Houston looks for someone to cut inside, instead hands it off to Bradley. Meta, step back three, good.
Good job on the ball screen right there. Hokies didn't quite communicate the way they wanted to.
What a bounce into Nelson that almost worked out, but just on the feet of Mackie Nelson there after the feed from Freelon. Coastal trying to answer quickly with Bradley. Houston now puts it on the deck, misses the layup. Tech ball.
Virginia Tech's length has bothered Coastal. Bigger at just about every spot on the floor.
Mid-range transition, no good. And is off the screen. Roanoke native signaling for someone to move closer to her. Bradley carries the ball for a moment. Kick out in the corner. Good play, but no bucket.
Yeah, nice little baseline drift. Got the wide open shot, but here come the Hokies, 5-on-5.
Bounce into Freelon, trying to get her going, but instead it's too hard off the glass. Houston tries from three. Back-to-back threes made for Coastal, and Virginia Tech calls a timeout as this deficit goes down to 20 points. A little bit more confidence there for the Shants.
Yeah, Houston's first made three on the season, but looked good shooting the basketball right there.
I actually thought, nobody's going to be on me, I might as well take this. Able to get it done in her native Southwest Virginia.
Trailer coming down, floor spread, near the home folks. I imagine she's got some friends and family here.
And coming from Northside High School. Meanwhile, for Virginia Tech, what made you think that Megan Duffy, even with such a large deficit here, wanted to take that timeout?
I think she wants the defense to stay, as she uses that term all the time, locked in. And clearly somebody missed an assignment in transition. That's why Houston was wide open coming down as a trailer. She wants to finish this half on a positive note.
Yeah, Hokies scored 30 in the first quarter. Coastal able to calm those fires just a little bit here in the second. Inside, what a feed. Another dime for Mackie Nelson, and Freelon finishes.
The ATO basket after a timeout, set play. Really nice job executing by Virginia Tech on the other end, and the foul on the defensive end.
Virginia Tech foul number 3, Mackie Nelson.
It goes on Mackie Nelson.
Checking in number
To be
21,
her second.
And at the line number 13, Tracy Houston, shooting 2.
Couple of free throws coming up for Houston.
Crowd getting into it here. Nice crowd on a Saturday afternoon.
Women's basketball at Virginia Tech over the last few years has garnered some solid crowds, especially here from Southwest Virginia audience. Enjoying a good start to the year. Hokies have scored a lot of points. Scored 100 in that first game against Towson. Almost got there a few nights ago against Gardner-Webb.
Averaging 84 a game, and looks like they're headed above that number this afternoon.
Daly misses, Baker swats it, but Chanticleer is able to pick up the loose ball. And every fan here thinking for that magic 75 number, Mac, to try to get the sausage biscuit
Not the bow tie.
from Bojangles tomorrow. Louder, and the freshman throws the ball over to Houston, and it's pushed out of bounds. Looks like the press is going to kick up here. Karis Baker will throw the ball in.
Part of the problem for Coastal has been the fact that when you don't make any baskets, you can't get your press set.
Freelon feeds Suffren, wide open for the three. Rattles out another offensive board. Effort was there from Freelon, and now she'll go to the line again.
Just so active. She's not really tall. She's not really, strong among centers necessarily, but she is active. We use the phrase elite athlete in the open. That's exactly what she is.
Has been perfect at the free throw line so far here today. Already has 4 rebounds. And Virginia Tech has really cleaned it up on the boards, Mac, on the offensive end so far this season.
Yeah, they've been really good, and again, that comes from increased athleticism and a lot of depth for Coach Duffy.
Enjoying a 23-point lead now. Here's Houston. Bumping in on Freelon. Feeds. Louder can't get the layup to go.
I think she was surprised how wide open she was.
Wenzel. Karis Baker wasn't ready. Gets the ball back. Wenzel's wide open for 3 and knocks it down.
No surprise.
Virginia Tech did a great job recovering there off of the defense inside on Karis Baker. And Houston also recovers with another bucket of her own. She's starting to heat up for Coastal.
Yeah, came out of the starting lineup, but she has been productive since she got in the game.
8 points coming off of the bench. Shot clock down to 10. Outside for Suffren. Suffren down the baseline. Karis Baker was there, but the pass was awry. A turnover for the Hokies.
Yeah, again, nice little baseline look right there, but a miscue on the passing catch.
So now the shot clock is off for Coastal. Shants could have the last possession of the first half if they want.
Hokies, number 34, Kale Dickerson.
Let's see if this is one of the rare times that Coastal takes its time here.
Yeah, it's a conundrum here.
They aren't in
We
any
play
hurry.
fast, but we really need to take the last shot here.
Knocked down to 9. Houston. Jimenez now. Grady has to stay with the ball. Bounce inside, and the block is there. An exclamation point defensively for Virginia Tech coming from the junior Baker. And that was threes. Did not see a lot of them made by Coastal, just 4 on 9 attempts.
Yeah, and they've got their style of play, they've got their culture, and they're going to stick with that and try to make it better when they play good competition, especially when they get into conference play in the Sun Belt.
Another turnover forced by Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, for the Hokies, something we had talked about at the beginning of the game, still trying to find their identity, playing against teams with different styles. Coastal, that chaotic style on defense and offense that Virginia Tech has been able to navigate very well. And bounces that one through. Jimenez, what an effort. Feeds it over to Bradley, has Freelon behind her, and a foul is called on the Hokies forward.
Yeah, and that's more like what you want to see from Coastal if you are Coach Pedersen, for sure. Nice job in the half-court defense, forced the turnover. Scrappy play right there, heads up, throwing it ahead. And Bradley inserted into that starting lineup. Hadn't had a lot of production, but she's been active out there on both ends of the floor.
5th-year guard from Dallas, Texas.
At 12 and 9 against UNCW a couple nights ago.
Averaging just under 6 points per game. Started out her college career at TCU, then went to Tulsa.
She's also another one who's been injured all fall. They have really struggled with injuries coming into the season.
And that's something that Coach Pedersen did not hesitate to tell us when we talked to him yesterday. Still trying to find our groove because they're dealing with so many injuries. As Bradley poked that ball loose, here comes Grady for Coastal.
Back-to-back turnovers forced by the Chunts.
And another one forced by Karis Baker, whose defense has been solid here today for Virginia Tech.
We haven't said Chanticleers very much.
We haven't. Chanticleers. I know it's something from Geoffrey Chaucer, A Handmaid's Tale, something like that. I believe that's where I got it. Somebody's going to tweet at me where that Chanticleers came from.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. Because it's more like a gamecock kind of thing.
Right, right.
But yeah, you're probably right.
I think so. Mackenzie Nelson with a beautiful mid-range there. Tickles the twine from about 15 feet.
Mackie Nelson looking for her shot a little more aggressively today than the first couple lengths.
I said Hammace Hill, Canterbury Tails. Hammace Hill's different. That's a different thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Different by about a couple hundred years.
We all knew what you meant.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I went along. I said you could be right.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah.
It's not in the Hulu show. Oh, my gosh.
Well,
oh, man.
Christmas blooper reel right
yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah,
Houston makes that.
I was concerned about you wanting to skip Thanksgiving, too. But,
oh, my gosh.
We may get into that later,
no,
depending on how the game's going.
I didn't want to skip Thanksgiving. I talked about cranberry sauce on a broadcast 3 years ago, and people still talk to me about that.
Yeah, that's because you're still wrong, but that's okay.
No, it was sweet potato. You know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Here comes Nelson down the floor. Peterson, another offensive rebound. Can't get the second chance bucket to fall. Daly wrestles. Wenzel thought about the three. Instead, gives it to Baker. Off of the foot of Bradley there and kicked up to Houston.
That was such a good possession for Virginia Tech until they just missed the wide open three. Shared the ball through the extra pass.
Foul called. It'll go down low on. Going to go on Nelson.
Houston getting to go to the free throw line. Talked about she's already had a nice game coming off the bench.
Shooting two again.
She's had 10 points in 12 minutes. Got a chance to go 12 and 12 right here. That's pretty efficient.
And misses the first free throw. And for more on Tracy Houston, here's Tamara.
Guys, I don't know if there's any more room left in the Tracy Houston fan club because the first two rows behind the Coastal Carolina bench are deep. You also have her whole high school here watching her play, her whole high school basketball team watching her play. They are super excited to be only 40 minutes away, able to watch Houston. And she's been a spark off the bench, those 8 points. Every time she scores, look over there, and you see them all jumping up and down, guys.
Yeah, really cool to see the local Roanoke, Virginia contingent show up in some Coastal Carolina gear. Wenzel penetrates in, misses the layup. Kristen Williams. As Coastal tries to win this third quarter. Here's a three. Jimenez can't get it to go. Offensive board for Bradley.
Coastal's been better defensively. Forced a couple turnovers, gotten a couple stops.
Good job by Wenzel there. That was a good feed inside to Houston. Suffren penetrates, splits defenders, and the ball swatted out of bounds. It will stay with Virginia Tech.
Jimenez with getting that hand on the ball. The point guard for the Chanticleers.
55-32 as Virginia Tech starts out a bit rough here. Here comes Layla Wells. Going to pick up some minutes here in the second half. Wenzel steps into a tray. Well, Peterson has been there to clean up a good amount of rebounds here today, but that ball went out of bounds.
Yeah, Peterson plays so much bigger. He's only 6 feet tall, but led the team in blocks a year ago. A really good rebounder, scores inside against bigger competition.
Now, it's interesting something that you said about Peterson there. She plays a lot bigger than she actually is. Do you think that's a theme for this Virginia Tech team?
I hope so, because they're not too big for Coach Duffy's sake. But yeah, you know, you add the athleticism, and Peterson does it a different way. She just does it because she's so fundamentally sound.
Her first personal foul.
Now Suffren's going to run the point for the Hokies.
Suffren and Wells out there sharing the ball handling duties while Mackie Nelson gets a blow on the bench.
Here comes Layla Wells looking for some points here today. Wenzel tries again from 3. Bit too short. Houston collects the rebound.
Wells did a nice job. She had an open shot and could see that Wenzel was going to come open off the down screen.
Menez too short. Defense has been strong for Virginia Tech. Hokies have only hit 1 field goal here in the second half. Here comes Wenzel, make it 2.
Something she's really worked on, improving, finishing around the rim, especially with that right-hand dribble. She's so crafty at getting there and really fast in the full court. You saw her split 2 defenders that time.
Now has 17 points, leading all scorers in this game. And Williams was there, or was not there, excuse me, wanted her to go in on the cut. Instead, it'll be a Virginia Tech inbounds play.
Yeah, you see that a lot, and especially early in the season when you don't really have that communication, that chemistry that we talked about. Houston thought she was going backdoor. She was faking and coming around for the handoff.
Here's Carleigh Wenzel. Karis Baker's wide open for 3. Way too much.
Much better job on the defensive end by Coach Pedersen's group.
Grimes inside, swatted away. Houston threw the ball back in, and that went off of the face of Suffren. Looks like she's okay. It will stay with Coastal. Williams finds Grady, open in the corner. Another 3, he's got too much mustard on it. Foul called on Williams. And no, that is going to go on Virginia Tech and Samaya Suffren.
Wow, it was bang, bang. I didn't know if Williams gave her enough space.
Hokies a bit slow here in the third quarter.
4 points in almost 5 minutes here. And again, I think Coastal's had a little something to do with that. They've just been better on the defensive end than they were in that first half, for sure. The Hokies haven't been able to get out in transition very much either like they did in that first half, and Coastal hadn't been turning the ball over.
And Coastal can try to turn that into points, and it's a 3-second violation.
There's that turnover we were talking about.
Hokies have been slow, but then Coastal has only scored 3 points to Virginia Tech's 4 here in the third quarter. Now Carleigh Wenzel. Put up a fair amount of shots here in the third. Wells thought about taking one of her own. Suffren. Baker, too short. Rebound Bradley.
Coastal's had some opportunities, but they haven't been able to convert much on the offensive end either. Just 4-3 here in this third period.
Here comes Grimes, great move.
Really nice player. Lake Ridge High School in Texas.
Meanwhile, here comes another Texan, draws a foul on Coastal and brings us to a break. 57-30.
Credit has played much better in the half court defensively.
57-34. Wenzel ready to throw the ball in for Virginia Tech, trying to heat back up here, and whistle and a foul. Suffren goes to the floor.
Coastal Carolina foul number 7, Paige Bradley. That is her second personal foul. 13 foul.
Fouls are mounting up pretty quickly here.
Put it up for Peterson. And a tie up gives Virginia Tech the possession right back. Well, Coach Pedersen told Tamara earlier that they want to win the quarter. So far, they're doing that by a score of 5-4. Here comes Wells. Feeds Wenzel. Inside, turnaround Peterson. Offensive board, Karis Baker. Third try, can't go. Bailey Louder bounces in to Jimenez here.
Yeah, 9 total points in 6 minutes.
This was after Virginia Tech put up a 30-point first quarter. Wenzel loops inside, too high for Baker. And you think about how Virginia Tech only has 4 here in the third quarter. That 30-point first quarter combined with the 23 there in the second quarter, so 53 for those big fans of math. That's the second most, or the second highest first half in the Megan Duffy era at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of things right, getting a lot of easy looks. This half, not so much, and Coastal's going to get the ball out of bounds. Oh, are they in the bonus? 2 shots.
Yep, 2 shots coming up for Coastal.
Thought that was the 5th. Suffering with that math, like you mentioned.
At the line number 1, Bailey Lauder shooting 2.
Now the freshman Bailey Lauder bounces out.
Struggled from the free throw line, but it's a small sample size early in the year. That makes her 3 for 10 on the season.
And coming into Coastal, also had offers from Portland State and Radford, the Utah native, able to get the second free throw to go, makes it 57-35.
Yeah, had a really good fall camp.
Layla Wells down the baseline, returns Wenzel. Back for Samaya Suffren. Hokies trying to get some sort of offense going that has been really dormant here in the third quarter. Suffren pivots in. Outside feed, 4 on the shot clock. Suffren now. Still can't go. Wells crashing in, almost got the offensive board, but Bradley swats the ball back in for Lauder, and Jimenez slows it down for just a moment for Coastal.
Pretty much everybody can push the ball for Coastal. You can see where that would be good in transition for them as the season goes on.
Bob inside, Houston through defenders, gets the layup off of the glass.
Beautiful play down the lane, tough for the help side to get there.
Baker over to Suffren, she's open for 3. Bounces off the back iron.
Long rebound, and Bradley chases it down.
And Grady stepped out of bounds. Shot did not go anyway. Hokies here in this third quarter, 2 of 14 from the field.
4 points in 8 minutes. Vastly different than that 30-point first quarter, partner.
Right, and 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. Layla Wells over to Wenzel, offensive foul.
Baker.
That goes on Baker.
Yep, down low.
Number 10, Karis Baker.
Little screening, posting up action. A little too aggressive. Hokies have been so good in the second half this season.
That's been a complete switch up here today. Grady spins and a foul called on Baker.
And Grady will go to the free throw line for a couple.
Virginia Tech foul number 2, Karis Baker. Her third personal foul. Second and number 0, Kyla Freelon.
Oh, look at this.
Nice post move, shot fake, step through.
Baker goes to the bench with 3 personal fouls.
Baker to the bench. Now you got Peterson and Freelon in the post. See if the Hokies can get something going with that combination.
Right, and you got to watch out. Freelon also has 3 fouls. It's a rebound after being on the bench. See what Freelon's presence can do here to spark something for Virginia Tech.
They're backing off Freelon, giving her that shot.
Peterson takes a 3. Bounces off the iron, a whistle blows, and Freelon gets fouled on her way to the rebound.
A lot of contact. When that ball goes up on the rim, there are bodies colliding in the lane.
It's been a pretty physical third quarter here.
That's her third personal foul.
Seen a lot of loose balls, a lot of wrestling matches for the basketball. And Virginia Tech has not been able to answer. That was the 7th 3 taken for Virginia Tech in this third quarter. Hokies have missed all of them.
Harris back in for Chanticleers.
That ball was tipped by Coastal. Virginia Tech keeps it with 1:15 left to go in the third. Glad to have you as part of our Saturday coverage of Virginia Tech and Coastal Carolina here on the ACC Network Extra. Carleigh Wenzel trying to get the threes going. Harris pulls down the board. And a timeout called by Coastal.
Yeah, that was going to be a turnover. Good call by Coach Pedersen.
Timeout.
Brings us to a break. Slow moving third. Lights out. They're 2 of 8. But still, for Virginia Tech, that is just such a stark contrast to what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, and you think about the mindset for both these teams coming out. Virginia Tech wanted to build on what they did in the first half, and Coastal wanted to kind of reset. And it's gone a little better for Coastal than it has Virginia Tech, 8-4 here in this third period with less than a minute left.
And the Hokies force a violation there.
Coming out of the timeout, I'm sure that pleases Coach Duffy.
She looked a little bit more excited than before the Hokies went into that last timeout. As Virginia Tech tries to answer with a bucket here. Tech with 5 third-quarter turnovers. Layla Wells thought about the triple.
I bet this ball goes inside.
Goes back outside. Wells misses the 3. Now across the timeline. Shot clock still on.
5 seconds difference.
Jimenez makes a good move. Pops a mid-range. Nothing but net.
That was a nice crossover move right there. Got just enough space for the mid-range.
And a steal. So Kristen Williams pickpockets Virginia Tech, and now the Hokies try to get the ball across midcourt here through the Coastal chaos.
Finally saw some of that chaos.
Freelon has to give it over to Peterson, and the shot would not have counted anyway, but a solid third quarter. Yeah, Coastal actually won that third quarter, 12-4 off of that layup from Kristen Williams. And for more on the grad student guard, we have Tamara.
Guys, I feel like I relate a lot with Kristen Williams. I love the way Coach Pedersen talked about her. He said she's a little dog who thinks she's a big dog. She's lightning fast and fearless, and you saw that on that pickpocket and layup.
Yeah, Kristen Williams, he talked about it with us yesterday, the fact that he gives her pretty much the green light. They have the green light, yellow light, red light system. And he gives her a lot of green lights to shoot the basketball for this Coastal team.
She has bright green light right there, and a really nice play out of the timeout to go high-low with Houston down low. And another offensive foul, another turnover, the 7th turnover of the second half for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that negates a Karis Baker 3. Virginia Tech led at halftime 53-29. 2 of 18 there in that third quarter, 0 of 9 from 3 land. And an offensive foul, a bit of a conference here after that call.
They might be talking about looking at the contact on that foul.
Well, that'll bring us to a break as we take a look at this foul. 57-43. Coming back with more of the fourth quarter.
Players on review to see if the ball was released prior to the foul.
Hokies going to pick up full court, see if they can get something going.
Jimenez drives. Another great play for the Wisconsin transfer.
Yeah, again, out of the timeout with a little set play, a little brush screen. Jimenez gets all the way to the rim. She has 12 points now.
All of a sudden, you look at this game, Mac, it is not over. 9 minutes left, just a 12-point lead for Virginia Tech. Hokie scored just 4 in the third. Mackie Nelson tries for 3. That's an air ball. So 57-45. All right, Kristen Williams moves in, gives it off to Paige Bradley. And Tamara, you were over near the Coastal huddle. What did you hear in there?
Well, guys, if you were wondering what Coastal Chaos looked like, this is exactly it. The coach talked to me at halftime and said he wanted to win the third quarter. They did exactly that, went on a 16-4 run. He said we have to keep doing that. The Hokies are living and dying by the three, so keep guarding the heck out of them and everybody rebound. Guys?
Now Carleigh Wenzel will go to the line for two to try to end this Hokies scoring drought. But the defense has been there, and we talked about it before we even went on air. If Coastal was going to be able to implement its brand of basketball, and so far in the third quarter, they just scored 12 points, but really kept Virginia Tech at bay, and they're doing so far here in the fourth as well.
Yeah, a little better on the offensive end, taking care of the basketball better so Virginia Tech can't get out in transition. And when you score, you can set up that defense that leads to the Coastal Chaos.
One arm pass, Williams returns it right back, and Mackie Nelson kicking up the defense a notch for Virginia Tech, and that has the Hokies bench pretty excited.
Yeah, how many times last year did you see Mackenzie Nelson come off the bench and ignite the Virginia Tech team with good defense, just like that play right there?
Noticeably saw it against Clemson when she scored 14 points. As Virginia Tech is aiming for field goal for the first time in a long time. If they can potentially get a defensive stop here. Instead, it's Houston who finishes at the rim for the Chanticleers.
Yeah, Menez with the nice pass over the top, good post up. Houston had him pinned on one side, went to the other side, and got the lob.
Bailey out to Baker. Virginia Tech has gone over 8 minutes without a field goal made. Can't snap it there, but Daly gets the offensive rebound. There, the streak is over for Virginia Tech, trying to get the Hokies heated back up, and the fans here are loving it. Freelon answers with swatting the ball out of play on the entry lob.
Yeah, you were just talking during the break. We hadn't called Daly's name since early in the game, but that was a big play right there for the Hokies.
As the Hokies continue to try to crash the boards here, leading in the rebound, or they were leading in the rebound output. How about this, Mac? Coastal's actually out-rebounding Virginia Tech at this point, 30-28.
Yeah, that was one of Coach Pedersen's real keys is the rebound margin and how they did in the paint. And they've done well in that regard.
Here comes Grady and one. Getting the Coastal bench fired up.
It was a big reaction right there. Drove from the right side all the way to the left side, finished through the contact.
So here is Grady, the junior from Dublin, Ohio, has had a bit of a quiet day. We're trying to spark something and finishes off the and one with a free throw made.
Yeah, only 6 points compared to 23 against Wilmington earlier in the week. She was doing it the other way out there. She was doing everything from three, 5 for 12 from long range.
Just down to an 11-point lead. Virginia Tech led at halftime by 24. Foul gets called on Jimenez.
Her second personal foul.
Keeps it on the floor. Just the second team foul for the Chants. Baker thought about the three for a moment. Instead, lobs inside Freelon. Cross court to Wenzel. Down the baseline, feeds Freelon, rattles home.
Good play by Carleigh Wenzel. Drew the defense, found Freelon on the other side.
Hokies wanted the charge. They will not get it. Instead, it's a block on Mackenzie Nelson, and that is her fourth personal foul.
Mackenzie Nelson is really good at taking charges. I guess the thing right there was she really wasn't between her man and the basket. He was coming in a different kind of angle, but gosh, that's why the block charge call is bang, bang. It's so hard to call.
Yeah, 4 fouls. Nelson goes to the bench with 10 points. Houston lays it up with the left hand, keeping Coastal in this. 6.5 minutes to go.
Hokies with no real answer to Houston down low.
She's come off of the bench and now scored 19 for the Chants in front of her hometown crowd, suffering Deciding they're cold from three, not gonna take it. Karis Baker igniting the heat for Virginia Tech. Hits the tray for the Hokies.
Big basket.
Here's Jimenez. Zips inside Bradley. Bradley backs it out, and that basket does feel big. Getting this Hokies crowd a bit more back into it. Williams lays it up, and the guard gets it done.
What a great answer and a quick timeout by Coach Pedersen.
The first quarter, Hokies jumped out to a 30-13 lead after that first quarter. And you see here, Houston comes off of the bench, makes an immediate difference. Kristen Williams heating up in the second half.
The little dog who thinks she's a big dog. I love that from Tamara.
Freelon pivots and hits another mid-range. Back-to-back buckets on consecutive possessions for Virginia Tech. Bradley trying to answer, and she does.
Now we've got it going, partner. After that third quarter, this is fun.
Yeah, in that third quarter, there were just 6 total made baskets from the field from either team. We've already seen 11 here in the fourth quarter. It's Carleigh Wenzel a bit too hard. Daly through a triple team forces a tie-up out of that conundrum there with the 3 Chanticleers. It stays with Virginia Tech.
Too late on the closeout. Freelon doesn't get there in time. Paige Bradley makes her pay.
Well, Daly misses the mid-range. And the Chanticleers come up with it. Just an 11-point game. Trying to get it to single digits. Houston, who's been hot all game, loses the ball. Karis Baker gives to Wenzel. Commanding the floor, Carleigh Wenzel, and 1.
Good play by Wenzel. And if you're a coaster, you got to be disappointed. You've got to stop the basketball in transition. 2 people in the lane, never got in position. And Wenzel, a veteran scorer, knew how to take advantage.
Well, Virginia Tech getting some life here in the second half. Coastal has had an answer for every Virginia Tech bucket. But now over the 20-point mark with 21. And she's been perfect from the line so far today.
And what was the difference right there, Bailey? Turnover by Coastal, good high percentage look for Virginia Tech like the first quarter.
That's a season high for Carleigh Wenzel now with 22 points. And that just feels like such a huge bucket, much like the 3 from Karis Baker, and a turnover for Coastal.
Yeah, that's a nice play. It's a flash and a handoff, but Harris moved to knock Jimenez defender out of the way.
Jimenez favoring that left calf as she gets back on defense. Here is Wenzel, lays it up, no good. And another tie-up that gives the ball to Coastal. Tamara, what do you have?
Yeah, during that media timeout, Jimenez went over to the athletic trainer about that left calf that you were just talking about, and she was massaging it. She gave her a massage gun. She said it's really tightening up. And then Coach Pedersen came over to her and asked her if she was ready to go back in, and she said yeah. So she's a tough one out there this afternoon.
Yeah, and Kevin Pedersen told us that yesterday, how Jimenez just adds so much when she's in for this Coastal team after dealing with injuries throughout the fall. Now trying to spark a comeback here, down 14 with time running out. Kristen Williams draws a foul.
A big answer right there. You kind of felt like the momentum had switched back to Virginia Tech, but Coastal going to the free throw line with one of their better shooters.
And so far, Williams today added 12 points in the scoring effort. First time she shot a free throw against the Hokies and misses the first. Oh, the announcer jinx there, Mac.
I cringed.
Misses both. So that's a pivotal couple of misses from the charity stripe for Coastal here, as they might have to play just near a perfect 4 minutes to get this one done. Got it back within striking distance all the way to 11 points. Now the Hokies lead by 14 and aim for the dagger here. Daly, another mid-range. Freelon snatches away the rebound. Carleigh Wenzel thought about the three. Karis Baker takes it. She might be back, Mac.
Freelon rebound, offensive rebound. Kick it out, Wenzel with the extra pass, and it pays off.
Karis Baker, 3 made three-pointers today. And an offensive foul. Carleigh Wenzel's gotten his team fired up.
Old Mo has jumped back on the side of the Hokies. The extra pass, hand in the face, didn't matter. That's the Karis Baker we know from three-point land.
Now started out the year 1 of 11 from beyond the arc, and she's already hit 3 here today. And her teammates know it. She's been contributing nonetheless. Karis Baker, such a talented and pivotal part of this roster for Virginia Tech. This wasn't getting it done from three-point land, able to do so today. Meanwhile, here's Freelon. Hokies all the way back on fire.
She got deep post position, made it an easy shot.
Meanwhile, it's Bojangles biscuit time as the Hokies cross 75 points.
And here I thought the cheer was for the basket.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they're excited about the momentum. That's probably a combined thing with the momentum coming back and a free sausage biscuit.
First time I missed the bow time.
Mel Daly dribbles through, handoff, and Freelon takes a trip to the stripe.
Yeah, Daly may have gotten away with a little push off there, but nice pass down low. And Freelon gets to go to the free throw line.
And Kinsey Grimes now fouled out, the freshman.
Freelon perfect from the line today.
Well, once again, a double-digit effort for the transfer from Texas Tech.
Yeah, needs a couple more rebounds for her third double-double in 3 tries.
Has 8 rebounds. Now Freelon's been a star for the Hokies so far this year. Did miss that game against Loyola, Maryland, and you could tell that the Hokies missed her presence in that one. Came back against Gardner-Webb and immediately made a huge difference with so many rebounds.
And Hokies have gotten this thing turned around with those turnovers again, 1 away from their season high with 23 forced turnovers against the Chanticleers. I want to say Chanticleers. But
Williams tried to loop up a layup. Instead, Karis Baker's there. And the tough defense on Carleigh Wenzel dribbles into the trap, and a block foul is called. No, it looks like here Virginia Tech, 2 minutes left to go, 18-point deficit, able to pile on a few more points here in the fourth quarter. You know, we talked about it from the beginning of the broadcast, Mac, that Virginia Tech is trying to still learn its definition as a team. What do you think they learned about themselves today?
Well, again, you've just got to play complete games, and they've struggled with that a little bit. Today they did differently. They came out and got off to a great start when they've been struggling out of the gate. But so they cleared up one problem, but found another one after the second half. Didn't come out quite ready to go. And they're fixing, the schedule is fixing to change coming up here, Bailey.
Yeah, have to play Niagara in the next game as Karis Baker picks away a steal. Pivots, hands off, Mackie Nelson right there.
Good decision by Baker. Could have taken the contested layup, played under control, got the ball to Mackie Nelson.
As Bradley backs off. Grady, Houston, lost the ball. Wenzel tiptoes the baseline.
And this one is ended like it started. Turnovers, into easy baskets.
Another assist for Carleigh Wenzel, now 18 points for Freelon. Tie up, Tech ball.
Possession to the Hokies.
So Virginia Tech gonna get a win here today against Coastal, but look at that. After Niagara, it's going to get a lot tougher for this Virginia Tech team playing some high major teams and James Madison.
That's brutal right there. At JMU is a really difficult game. BYU is good. Then Vandy or Oregon State, both good programs. Duke and Florida coming up after that. We'll know a lot about this version of the Virginia Tech Hokies after that 5-game stretch.
1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining. Hokies starters pretty much staying on the floor here, with Samaya Suffren being the exception. Wenzel with a shot clock running down. There's a charge. Gotta give it to Coastal here. Even though this is going to be a loss for them, really turned it around in the second half and made this game a bit more interesting.
I think Coach Pedersen is going to be really encouraged, and I think the Chanticleers will be encouraged by knowing that they can play against a quality team from the ACC.
Jimenez. 10 on the shot clock. That defense still tough, even in the waning moments of this game. Samaya Suffren got a hand on it, and that would likely end it. And Mackie Nelson will back off. Hokies improved to 4-0 on the season. After a rocky third quarter, came back with a statement fourth quarter and finished this one off 82-59. Best start since 2022-2023. That was the year